Good evening, everybody. I'm Sarah Gaidano. I am the Family Center Director for Bahia Vista School. This is my 6th year at Bahia Vista, and I was previously working at Laurel Dell Elementary for the previous MCF grant, which was called Schooling Services. It was a different initiative, but the same vision of closing the achievement gap in our schools in Marin County. And I brought with me Ingrid Cigaretta. She's in my office.
Hi everybody, I'm the family advocate and this is my 2nd year at Bahia Vista School.
And we are so lucky to have Ingrid. This is her 2nd year, and she comes with a lot of extensive knowledge on family involvement, especially with parents who have IEPs. She was previously working at Matrix and helping parents to know how to work best with their children who need extra support. So we're really lucky to have her, and everyone loves her. So I also would like to let everyone know that I'm really proud of the collaboration that we've done in the last few years among the school sites in Marin County. We started a little group called the MAC group. It stands for Marin Advocate Collaborative. And so that being said, I would like to try and introduce some people who are here who engage in those meetings with us, because it really helps us know what the other schools in Marin are doing as far as family engagement and learn from each other and try out new things, and I think it just makes us all grow stronger. So I wanted to kind of review what Karen Mapp had previously taught us the first year that we started this work for the P3 schools. And it was actually a really interesting task to be able to present today, because it made me look at what did Karen Mapp show us the first year and what have we done actually 5 years later. How much have we been following her framework for parent engagement? So one of the things she talks about is changing from parent involvement to family engagement to make sure that all families feel included at the school site, and I think we've done that really well. We're very conscious of our language when we talk to families to make sure that they all feel like, you know, they don't need to be the biological parents. We know that our families are being raised by all types of adults, and a lot of our families are in foster care or raised by aunties and uncles and grandparents. So that we did pretty much year 1. And then she just told us that the studies show that kids who have parents who are families that are involved do better regardless of their socioeconomic status. The studies also show that the schools can have great leadership, strong staff, great PD for teachers, but if they don't have the support of the families, that the kids are not going to be able to be as successful as they would if they had all the pieces to the puzzle. So that's something that we always try to keep in mind. Not just the families, but the community ties that we hold at our school site are very important. And then most importantly, she talked about the 4 different kinds of schools, starting from the Fortress School, which is basically, you can imagine, she had a vision of like a big castle with a moat and alligators going around it, basically like stay away. And then the second type of school is a come if we call school, which is like you can come, but only when we ask you to. Otherwise, stay away. And then the open door school, which I think that most of us were doing when we started, included family teacher conferences twice a year, PTA meetings with the principal, family events, and some cultural recognition. And so that's okay, but what she'd really love to see is for the schools to become partnership schools where the parents are really looked at as a true partner in their child's learning. And going even a step further, for them to be involved in all the school decisions and to have home visits, which she really stresses as being a great tool in getting to be more engaged with families, the teachers, and the parents. So, clicker. This is where I got to look and see how we're doing so far. So the parent-teacher conferences are happening at Bahia Vista, and I think at most school sites. At Bahia Vista, I actually got to sit in on the 5th grade conferences this year, and I was really impressed with their student-led conferences, which is something that Karen Mapp mentioned specifically, where the child is involved in their actually giving their conference to their parent and telling the parent where they're supposed to be as far as assessments go, where they are, and what they're going to do to reach the goal. So I was super impressed. We have one of our 5th grade teachers here, and it was just so amazing to watch the kids explain to their parents what they were going to do to achieve their goals. We also have a 3-way pledge, which I'll show you at the end of this. I got mixed up in the slides, but where parents are shown that it's really a partnership, a 3-way partnership between the student, the parent, and the child, and the teacher. And everyone has a part in order for the child to be successful. And I think that's a really powerful tool to start the school year with each child. Even though we do it every year and it gets a little repetitive, I think the parents really get it. By the time they get to 5th grade, they're like, okay, 3-way pledge. We also, Bahia Vista, we're really proud of our large menu of family workshops. We try to hold as many workshops as we possibly can. And this year, as I mentioned, we're working closely with San Pedro so that we can pool our resources, because workshops can get expensive. You want to make sure that you're providing childcare and food for parents so it's not inconvenient for them to attend the workshops, and that we're really being sensitive to our parents' needs. So by doing them all together, we're kind of pooling some of the money, and we can offer more. In our Family Center, we have a huge list of partners, which Ingrid's actually going to go over in a minute. And I think that that's so important for family engagement as well, because we're really making sure that we're meeting all the needs of the child, not just the academic and social emotional development of the kids, but also just the basic needs of the family. And we're going to go over the services that we provide in our family centers as well. This year and last year, we've done a lot of work around building our leadership groups with the help of PSP. We have Monse here, who's our guide. And she's actually working right on site with us to work with the parents, attend our PTA board meetings, and make sure if parents need guidance as far as making budgets and making decisions and making sure that they're inviting as many families as possible to the meetings, getting parents involved. So that's been a huge help. And we do home visits through our family center as needed. Previously, for the last 5 years, we've had a position called Family Literacy Mentor, and it was really great. We had 2 full-time family literacy mentors when I began, and I was actually one of them. And we got to go into the homes of students in kindergarten who needed extra support every single week and work with the parents on activities that they can do at home with what they have to help support their child's learning. And that was a wonderful program. Unfortunately, it's not really sustainable as the grant funding gets less, so we don't have that anymore. But as a family center, we do provide home visits when necessary. And so now I'm going to turn it over to Ingrid. She's going to talk about go into more detail about our school family center and talk about our partners and our services.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm so happy to be here representing Bahia Vista. I absolutely love the school, and I love working with the families. We have a lot of partners that we work very, very closely with, starting with BACR, Bay Area Community Resources. They're our main fiscal agency for our advocates, such as myself, for our director, like Sarah, and for our wonderful after-school program, LEAP. We work closely with Head Start. We have 2 classes at Bahia Vista. We have classes at San Pedro, and work next to each other every day. Experience Corps is another one of our great partners. We have over 20 volunteers at Bahia Vista alone that work with the kids and teachers primarily on literacy. Youth and Family Services, they help us with our counseling needs. Catholic Charities and Kids Club, they support us with our after-school program that they have at Pickleweed, and they also partner with us with our Charla Cafes that we do once a month on Wednesdays, typically. I already mentioned LEAP, our fabulous after-school program that supports kids who need additional help with their schoolwork or just to get caught up. Girl Smart is a reading program that we have that ended in June, and we're hoping that we'll be able to bring it back sometime soon. Playworks, we have our coach Carlos that the kids love, and we have junior coaches that work on conflict resolution with the kids at school, especially during recess. We have local preschools that we work with. We have a preschool program at Bahia Vista and one at Pickleweed Community Center. Raising a Reader is a fabulous program that most of you probably know about, and we get to work closely with the wonderful Carrie Bacho. Parent Services Project, Sarah already mentioned that this year they're on site, really helping us with our PTA and all kinds of needs. They're helping us with kindergarten registration this year, which you probably all know. You need a lot of help those days. Health and Human Services, they provided a flu clinic for our school that vaccinated close to 200 kids this year alone at Bahia Vista. And during school hours. They had a Canal Health and Safety Day, and they provide nutritional education for our families and our students. We've also worked closely with the City of San Rafael and their community center. With their library, that is. The librarians do a great job making sure that our families and our students all have access to library cards, and they provide story time and all kinds of services for our families. The National Park Service has been wonderful. We've worked closely with Ranger Lou, who has helped us with our garden and has been kind enough to provide field trips for entire families to visit Muir Woods and other places, and they're just, can't say enough good about them. And of course, the Marin, San Francisco and Marin Food Bank, we have a food pantry every Friday, and they also help us with nutritional needs. Oh, I also forgot to mention, Major Lou also does a Wonder Wednesday for our after-school program where she works with the kids and just teaches them about the environment and our resources. Okay, thank you for clicking. Our services for families, wow, we do all kinds of great work with them, starting with just case management. There's families that I personally work with every day, it seems like, and help them with everything from finding resources in their community to getting doctors or mental health or any kind of services that they might need. We've had an influx of new families arriving this year, and it's been a pleasure to work with them and help them acclimate. We had a weekly literacy mentor that unfortunately that program has ended for now, but as Sarah mentioned, they would visit families once a week and work on literacy skills and giving parents the tools to further support their children's literacy. We give referrals to families in the community for all kinds of needs that they might have. We do a lot of interpretation for parents and teachers, especially during conference time, but just any time a teacher has a need to contact a family. If the family doesn't speak English or the teacher doesn't speak Spanish, we're there on the front lines just trying to help them, communicate. We have family learning opportunities all the time, it seems. ESL classes, positive parenting classes, family literacy classes, learning together, Charlotte Cafes, other leadership workshops. Almost once a week, it seems that we have a class or two going on. The school is open all the time, it feels like, for our families. LEAP program, we've talked a lot about that, and Billy Barbash is here representing that program. Girl Smart and American Corps. Again, we'd love to see the Girl Smart program come back. We have counseling services. We have on-site counselors. We work with Health and Human Services to help kids and families with whatever struggles they're facing. We have a Head Start that, again, we have two preschool classes in Bahia Vista alone, an AM and a PM class. 2 state pre-K classes, Experience Corps, Playworks, as I mentioned, they do a lot of conflict resolution and BV in motion, kind of getting kids out there doing cardio every morning. And we also collaborate with local preschools to provide a smooth transition during kindergarten and to kindergarten and childcare for our families. All the classes that we offer at night, we almost always provide childcare to make it easy for these parents to access the services and the information that they need. We do enrichment events to strengthen our community and celebrate family culture, such as the Family Festival. We have a garden club, Canal Health and Safety Day, and Winter Gathering and Earth Day, just some of the things that we do. And that's about it for Services for Family. Thank you.
I just made a slide to highlight the family support services. I know Ingrid just went into great detail, but one of our strongest services that we provide in the Family Center is our counseling services. And we collaborate with the Community Mental Health, which is actually YFS now, and then the BACR Advocates, which includes Ingrid, and we have another advocate. Her name is Alma. And then we work with the district counselor and the district psychologist to have meetings every other week where we can discuss students who are struggling socially or emotionally, and we can find the best placement for them because each agency has a different set of criteria and what they can do for students and families. So we're really proud of that group, and we're a tight group, and like Dawn said, it's all about relationships, and I think that we just work really well together. The next thing I wanted to talk about is some of our family learning workshops. Starting actually this week, we are like open for business. It's like a nighttime parent college. We have so many classes going on. So we're just now starting a Triple P parenting class with Dr. Marisol, which starts this week. We also will be offering ESL classes 2 nights a week, and that is for, it's a beginning level for parents. But it's also, we're offering this time for the first time to meet the need of all the newcomers that are coming into our school this year, a class for older students. So anyone from 4th grade to 8th grade, we will be offering some beginning English classes for them because it's hard when you jump into 4th grade and you don't know any English. So we really wanted to work closely with Canal Alliance to offer something for those students. We're also going to be starting the Latino Family Literacy Program. I'm happy to say that Alma, our advocate, will be running those classes. She was trained this year, and she's also a preschool parent at our school, and she's amazing. That's going to be starting in February. Maricela's here, and I don't know, Anna, are you here? Okay, Anna from San Pedro and Maricela work really closely. We have two state pre-Ks, an AM and a PM, and then San Pedro has 2 state pre-Ks, AM, PM. They're run by our district, but they really amaze me. A lot of these pictures actually come from Maricela's class because she works so well with the parents. Last year we had parent learning together classes every week. This year I think it's once a month to twice a month, where the parents come into the classroom and they do hands-on activities with their child, and Maricela is really good about keeping the parents in the loop about what she's teaching the kids and how they can help reinforce it at home. I think it's exactly what Karen Mapp was trying to get us to do, and she's really a model for the rest of the school. We have monthly Charla Cafe as well, and I'm happy to say that a lot of the schools around Marin County have Charla Cafe. They don't always call it that, but it might be like coffee talk or coffee chat or monthly parent coffee. But in these meetings, we open up our school for the parents to come in and have some coffee and a snack and get together with other parents, and we do topics that range. Sometimes they're just about family summer programs that parents can access, scholarships. Sometimes they're about preparing for disasters. It really is whatever kind of comes up within our parent community that we need to address, and we do a new one each month, and we love it. We did a leadership training last year with PSP where they came and did nighttime classes with our parent leaders at PTA, CLAC, SSC, all those groups. And that was a great series, and now they're working on site every week with our parents. So they come to all of our PTA board meetings and PTA meetings and help the parents kind of organize themselves. We also try to hold a few nights a year where teachers are teaching parents about what they're doing in the classroom and things they can do at home to support their learning. So we have like math game night, literacy nights. Ingrid mentioned that we work with Carrie Baccio from PSP to teach reading skills with parents on how to read with their children and make it fun. She's very energetic. Most of you probably know her. We also provide middle school and kindergarten transition nights for parents. So if they're just coming or they're going to be leaving, we make sure that they feel prepared for that. All right, so I think I pretty much mentioned family leadership with our work with PSP, so I don't want to hog all the time, so we'll just keep going. But this is an example of San Pedro's Family Service Center. As you can see, it's actually really in line with what we're doing, and we're proud of that because we work closely with them, and then we work within our Marin Advocate Collaborative to share ideas with each other, hear, what agencies we're working together with. Every year it seems like the people that we get to work with, just the list just grows and grows, and the list of partners that we showed you earlier is just a piece. Those are the main ones, but really we grab them wherever we can get them. And they all have something to offer to our families. And then I was lucky to get one from Hamilton. Pilar sent this to me. I actually asked her to present with me. She said, I can't, but you can look at this. And I was so impressed with this as well because I don't think I've ever been to Hamilton. And almost everything on their family services brochure is the same as what we're doing. Even the open closet. We have something called Community Closet, where it's just kind of free clothes that are washed and hung up, and parents can come in as needed. So it's really nice to see the work so similar from one district to another. That was impressive. Another thing that Dr. Mapp kind of highlighted as helping families feel engaged at the school and in their child's learning is to give them a space to share their culture with the other families at the school site. And so we do that. At our school, we don't have a ton of diversity, but especially in preschool and in second grade, they both do very extensive events with the families so that they have a chance to share their culture, their food, their native dress, and in preschool they make books for their children to tell them about what their culture is like, and then they come in and they share it with the other families, they share it with the students, and it's really beautiful to watch, and then they usually end it with a big potluck where the parents get a chance to share their food with the rest of the class. The next slide is the parents as partners is a big, huge theme that Karen Mapp starts with as far as parent engagement. It's really to become a partnership school, you need to see the parents as true partners. So I mentioned this earlier. This is an example of our three-way pledge that we use at Bahia Vista during our conferences. And it basically outlines the main jobs of a teacher, a student, and a parent. And the teacher goes through all of them and has everybody sign. It's like an official contract. It's been around for a long time. And it's really part of our school community, and we take it really seriously, and I think that the parents do too. Lastly, it seems like it's a little hard to gauge how well we're doing with parent engagement, but we do a survey every single year for our families. And I looked over last year's survey, which was actually really hard to compare to the first year's survey because the questions had all been changed. Each year you edit it and add something, and then the question you wanted to compare didn't really line up with last year's question. But some of the highlights from last year, and looking over it really made me feel good about our work, is that 93% of our families reported feeling welcome when they come into the front office. I still want it to be 100%. I don't want anyone not feeling welcome. 94% of the families say they feel welcome in the classroom, which was actually surprising to me. We don't have a ton of classroom volunteers at our school. What we do have this year that's new is a family volunteer center, and it's within the family center. And so we have an area that's just a big table and a bunch of boxes from each grade level, and the teachers will put in things that they need prepared or cut out or fixed, and the parents will come by, grab a box. It doesn't even have to be their grade level if they have the time. And it really provides flexibility for parents, because sometimes what we've seen at our school site is that it's hard to be consistent in their volunteering in the classroom, because jobs are not always that consistent, and when they need to go to work, they go to work. And it's just a lot easier to provide this, like, give us an hour, give us 2 hours, give us half an hour, whatever you got. And there's always something there for them to do, and so that's been really fun. Plus it gives us a chance to have parents working right inside the family center, and we get to chat with them more, and usually something more comes out of that. 78% report that they feel comfortable helping their child with their homework. I was actually pretty impressed with that too, because we have a pretty high level of parents who don't read or write even in their own language. So sometimes that leads us to assume that they don't feel comfortable helping their child, but really it turns out they do. So 98% they say they know how their child is participating socially and academically in school. I was really happy to see that, because that's another thing that Karen Mapp talks about, is really making sure that the parents are aware of how their kids are doing, because if they don't know that their kids are struggling, then they don't know how to fix it. 92% report that they read stories with their child at least 1 to 2 times per week, which is okay. 54% read with their child at least 3 times a week. This is good. I actually wanted the numbers to be a little higher, because we put so much of our effort into literacy, especially early literacy, with our home visiting program, our preschool program, working with Raising a Reader, our Experience Corps. So much has focused on literacy, so I want to see that better. 89% of our parents said they felt the school and administrators have successfully created an environment that supports student learning. 87% of parents felt that the school values the cultural diversity of the students. 97% of parents said they visit the school at least 1 to 2 times a year, and 71% of those said they visit the school at least every couple of months, which I have to say is more than I do for my kids. Vicki knows wherever she is. She worked at my son's school. I'm too busy at my school to come by my son's school. Anyway, so in conclusion, I think just the main ideas is, like Dawn mentioned, the relationships that you build with the partners around your school are so important. The relationships we build with families to make them feel comfortable to come to the school, to be involved in their child's learning, is exactly what Karen Mapp was telling us the first year, and I think we're doing a really good job of implementing that 5 years later. But that said, we all know that family engagement is not something that we can just be like, oh, we mastered that, done. It's something that's changing every single year, because we get new types of families, we get new families. It's never going to go away. The efforts just have to keep going and getting stronger, and I have to say I've loved my job every single day for the last 19 years that I've been working under the MCF initiative, so I'm really happy. Thank you.